because we got to talk about coaching here. You know, I think Eric Bieniemy is going to be a hot commodity, you know, as far as maybe a job attraction, you know, this upcoming season, because there's going to be a lot of jobs opening, according to Adam Schefter, who said about 7 to 10 NFL teams can make head coaching changes before 2024 after the Frank Reich firing. So we are going to take 8 to 10 coaches and we are going to rank them into different hot seat categories: warm, hot, scorching hot. For example, I'm going to bring up a name and we have to decipher whether they seat should be hot, warm, or scorching hot, with warm being the least hot, hot being medium, and scorching hot being the hottest seat. Basically, so the first, okay, got you. Basically, if you're scorching hot, you are more than likely to hear this line right here. Yeah! What? Okay, so we are going to throw out the first head coach that I have here, and that head coach is Sean McDermott. How do we feel about Sean McDermott? And Cuzzo, I'll start off with you.
Oh man, Sean McDermott. He's not scorching hot, but he's hot. He's hot. He's hot. He's hot. And, you know, he has some success with Buffalo. So let's be fair, right? I think that's fair to say, right? He has some success. And clearly they underachieving now to a certain degree. They have some injuries or what have you. He fired his offensive coordinator. I don't think that was the right move to do, but whatever. But I think he's hot, and I think before the season is over, he'll be scorching hot. But because the fact that they won some games and maybe they'll win some more games, but I won't kid him on scorching hot because I just think Buffalo, and when you look at the what they got to pick from a coaching perspective, not that he's a horrible coach, but he is a mediocre coach, and that's why I got him as hot.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Zay.
Oh no, I was just say Sean McDermott for me is warm. The reason why it's warm is because once Brian Daboll left, we've seen Josh Allen back to his turnover tendency ways. And Josh Allen, unfortunately, is the offense for the better or worse. He's everything the Bills need. Bills are essentially running the ball, throwing the ball. Everything is going through Josh Allen, and they haven't since Daboll left. They haven't found, even when Daboll was there, they haven't found the right balance of running the football, throwing the football. Yep. We're seeing it now. A little bit better now once I forgot his name. Who was offensive coordinator for Buffalo again?
You talking about Joe Brady?
Yeah, but Joe Brady. So once he took over reign, we're seeing that they're throwing the football, running the football with an equal balance now more than ever. But he's still turning over the football at the wrong times. He's still turning over the football in general. So that's why I say it's warm. But McDermott, I think at the end of the year, when the record is finalized, I think if the Bills miss the playoffs, I think he goes from warm to scorching hot just because the Bills are regressing from that point. So the Bills can't miss the playoffs this year at all. If they miss, it goes from warm to scorching hot. Right now, as currently standing, it's warm because they're on the verge of missing the playoffs. But, yeah, that's how I see it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, do we realize their record? And do we realize the mountain they got to climb and the help that they need to get into the playoffs? They got to be scorching hot, bro. Like, if they miss the playoffs, somebody has to pay. And that person that's going to have to pay will be Sean McDermott. When he fired Ken Dorsey, that was a sign that his seat was warm. At the very least, was warm. Correct. And now that they lost to the Eagles, I understand they showed the heart of a warrior, the heart of a champion, but they didn't win like a champion. They lost. And if they miss the playoffs, you cannot have a talented team like that with a talented quarterback like that and miss the playoffs and think that you're coming back. Like, I think he's going to be done. I think his seat is scorching hot. And we have to take into context everything. He has made questionable decisions that has lost his team games. Against the Broncos, bringing a reckless all-out blitz that resulted in a PI, that resulted in the game-winning field goal. He got to be held accountable. And then in this game against the Eagles, 20 seconds left, right? Instead of them trying to win the game, they took a knee like Colin Kaepernick, paying homage, and going to overtime. You have one of the quarterbacks with the strongest arm in the league, okay, who has mobility. 20 seconds is enough to try to get a field goal to verify that you win the game, and you don't leave it in the coin toss, even though they got the ball at halftime. I mean, after overtime, right? They got the ball first. Still, they could have ended the game during regulation, right? Patrick Mahomes, all he needed was 13 seconds to send y'all home in the playoffs, you know. All he needed was 13 seconds. You had 20 seconds. You had 7 more seconds with Josh Allen, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, who was the best quarterback on the field that day, with all due respect to Jalen Hurts. But Josh Allen played a hell of a game for all 4 quarters. He got to be held accountable. I think his seat is scorching hot.
Right.
Let's move on.
Real quick.
Okay.
I'm sorry. The reason why I only stayed on hot is because some of the AFC teams came back to the pack and where they might make it in as a wild card.
It's going to be a long shot, cousin. But, hey, if they get help, maybe he returns. The next coach we're going to go with is Brandon Staley. And, Zay, I'll start off with you.
Oh, Staley job is hot. Scorching hot. Burning hot. I'm talking about hell. Like, it's burning. Brandon Staley, he came into this Chargers team with a lot of praise. People were praising him for a lot of different things before he got there. And then when he got to the team, they praised him for his gutsy plays, his risk it and biscuit plays, going for it on fourth, being risky, doing all these different things. Now, there's no more praise. You have a talented team, you're not going nowhere, bro. You're going absolutely nowhere. We understand the investment made on that defense for years, and everyone getting hurt year after year after year, week after week after week. We understand that, but your offense is not scoring points. You're not putting up record-breaking numbers offensively, and that is an issue. You're not elite. I mean, I understand. Leel been saying this for a couple weeks now. The defense hasn't been holding up the end of the bargain. We understand that, but the offense needs to score. The offense needs to score. You have too much talent on that team to not be scoring damn points. And the head coaching is the first to blame to that, because even when they are scoring points, they're turning the ball over as well. You as the head coach, you got to tell Kellen Moore, yo, stop with the throws. We got to run the ball. We have the lead. Stop with the throws. Control the game. And clearly does not have control of that football team. That's why his job is scorching hot. I'm surprised he still got a job. He needs to get fired immediately. Like right after the show. During the show. Get him out of there.
Yeah, he should have been fired 2 years ago. He overstayed his due. I'm going to go scorching hot here. You know, I think it's funny because even though I'm going to go with scorching hot, and even though he should have been fired 2 years ago, the back of my mind is telling me that the Chargers front office, the Spanos family, is too cheap to fire this guy. We can't forget that he was given a 4-year contract worth roughly $4 million, and Staley is in the 3rd year of that 4-year contract. So is the Spanos family going to pay him $4 million to not coach the football team next year? I don't know. They have a record and reputation of being cheap, the El Cheapos of the world. And, then they want to get a Bill Belichick, then they want to get an Eric Bieniemy. I don't know. One thing I would say is that it starts by firing Staley if you want to save the prime of Justin Herbert's career, because right now, I think we need to look at the Chargers very closely here and have an honest conversation. They are not an attractive football team at all. And I understand they got Justin Herbert. You know how I feel about the guy. I still think he is right up there, top 7, top 5 quarterback in the NFL. He hasn't shown it. He doesn't have the resume, so you can hit me with the resume, and there's not much I could wiggle and try to, defend this guy. When you bring it up the resume, I get it. You're what your record says you are. But there's a lot of factors. The defense has been abysmal. They have no defense, right? All they have is a bunch of names, no plays that's out here making impact plays. And on top of that, Keenan Allen is old. Okay, just throw it to Keenan Allen 15 to 20 times. It's not how you win football games. Quentin Johnson may be a bust. He may be the next to kill Harry. Okay, he may be driving a bus, the cheese bus, for his career 10 years from now, right? There's a lot of things we should be worried about. Austin Eckler lost the juice. My guy's slow as a beetle. Okay, so when we talk about the attraction of this job, should Brandon Staley lose it? I mean, outside of Justin Herbert, what is there to be attractive to about this team? And on top of that, he's no longer on his rookie deal. So you have work to do to build this football team, but your quarterback is expensive. How do you do that? But at the same time, one thing I do know is Brandon Staley got to go. His seat is scorching hot.
Listen, you already know it's scorching hot. I mean, it's 3 across the board. But here's the problem, right? When we talk about this defense and this offense, it's head coaching, right? He have the most talent in the league to have a record like this. Everybody with a record that with the Chargers or below, they don't have the same talent that the Chargers have. So from that perspective alone, he should be fired immediately. 2 years ago, I've been calling for this dude's job. We lost the playoff game last year, everything. He needs to go. Who just got fired? Frank Reich? Him and Frank Reich should be hanging out right now. They should be doing lunch. Because at the end of the day, you can't not have this type of talent. Well, as we've been talking about in the last subject, this type of quarterback play, this type of quarterback arm talent, and just keep and continue to underachieve. This is the team that was supposed to be on the Kansas City Chiefs' heels every year, year in, year out, and some years winning the division. It's supposed to be competition at its finest. We marveled over this 3 years ago. We was like, yo, we're going to see some great football between the Chargers and Kansas City with these two young stud quarterbacks. It's just, no. Andy Reid have put circles around Stanley, and Stanley got to go. He needs to play Ring Around the Rosie with his nieces or something, because this man is trash. And I've been calling this dude trash for years. Okay, when he was going for it on fourth down, I always questioned it. Nope, not a good move. I don't know why he did that. When me and cousin one time, we had a harsh debate about it. No, oh, nah, it's good. No, cousin. He coaches to the fans. The fans can't make your decision. Oh, go for it. Go for it. He's like, you know what? We're going to do it. No, that's not a head coach. Feel the game. He never felt the game. He always went with his emotion and not logic. Okay? And when you're a head coach, a leader of men, and you're dealing with emotion instead of logic, you got to go. And he has been proving that year in and year out.
Man, I think there's a field in politics for this guy. I've been saying that for years. He know how to talk a good game. He could talk water out of a well. You know, he could talk Tupac out of Cuba. I mean, he could do a lot with his talking, bro. Like, he needs to go on politics, okay? Because he will fit right in there, because they are cons, with all due respect. Anyway, let's move on to the next head coach that we have here, Robert Saleh. And I know Zay is like, alhamdulillah, we got our guy here. Okay, Zay, Robert Saleh. Hot, warm, scorching hot. How do we feel?
For me, I'm gonna go with warm. I think his job is warm, if lukewarm at that. The last 2 years, the man has 15 offensive linemen on his roster, played back-to-back seasons. That's like, you can't blame a coach for that. That's just really bad luck. You had 15 offensive linemen go down. Your running back one went down last year. Oliver Tuck went down last year. Mekhi Becton hasn't been healthy since he's been in the league. Aaron Rodgers, torn Achilles. The list goes on. And the amount of injuries that has happened on this Jets team. The one thing you could say that Robert Saleh did extremely well is develop the defense. He did a tremendous job developing a defense that the Jets didn't have no business having in such a fast time, in such a fast pace. When Quentin Williams developed extremely well under Saleh. You got Quincy Williams, who wasn't even a guy who was wanted on any team. He came in looking like an all-pro. Sauce Gardner made all-pro last year. DJ Reed, all-pro, looking like an all-pro corner this year. Guys like undrafted free agents, Tony Adams, all these different guys that look great under this Robert Saleh regime. Even despite them having a bad record, 4-7, he still has the locker room back. He still has all these different things, and that's why his job is warm, because you have to see what happens when Aaron Rodgers is actually playing to see what happens. He hasn't developed the quarterback position well at all. Zach Wilson does not look good. He hasn't handled getting back with quarterbacks and things of that nature, but that's more so of a Joe Douglas thing in terms of bringing in different guys. But right now, his job is warm for the simple fact that the offense has been horrendous since Saleh has been here, but the defense has been amongst the best in the NFL.
Cuzzo?
Yeah, I'm with you, Zay. It's really warm. I think he is a leader of men. I think he do coach up young players. And I think you can build around that. It is unfortunate with the injuries. Do he need to be held accountable because injuries is part of the NFL? Of course. Should he be held accountable that the offense stinks horrible? Of course. We get that. So I'm not saying he's like the greatest of coaches or anything like that. I would like to see him with some good quarterback play, or a competent quarterback, because I don't believe in Zach Wilson. So a competent quarterback with good quarterback play and not have so many injuries. I would like to see this team roll out 1 year. And I feel if I was the owner, I would want to give him that opportunity. So I don't think I'll be looking to fire him. He, like you said, he got the locker room. He's the leader of men. I won't be looking to fire him. He coaches up young players. You know what I'm saying? And those players believe in him. And he's a fiery guy, which I like that too. So lukewarm. I'm going to just give it there, lukewarm.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in the middle here. I'm gonna go hot. You know, even though I think the reality, he might be warm, but I think it should be hot. Now, this is where I'm gonna go with where I think it should be. I think it should be hot. And I
Gotcha.
think, you know, you are what your record says you are. And how many coaches we've seen in the past get fired because they didn't have the right quarterback, because the quarterback play was down? It's no excuse. I can't believe I'm about to quote Mike Tomlin. I like Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin's my guy. I just call him out because I think he's a little bit overrated. But I like Mike Tomlin, and he has a point that I'm about to actually quote here. Okay, when it comes to football, okay, in this league, there's never an excuse for your circumstance. Okay, Mike Tomlin, and I approve that message. There's never an excuse. You are forced to deal with the circumstances that you're given. And understand the quarterback carousel and Zach Wilson experiment and how it was a bust and all that, the offensive line and all that. But at the end of the day, one thing that Robert Saleh has refused to do is hold his players accountable. His willingness to stick with these players that are underperforming is beyond me. The fact that Nathaniel Hackett still has a job right now is beyond me. And I'm not sure if he's a puppet, okay, where, you know, Joe Douglas has his hand up his butt and telling him what to say at the press conference, telling him what to do or whatever. But if it's him that's making these decisions, he got to go, because Aaron Rodgers should not be the be-all, end-all here. At the end of the day, you got a franchise to run. And I don't care who Rodgers wants to be his coordinator, receivers, or whatever. No, you got to do what's best for the team. And if that means firing Saleh and getting a better head coach and firing the coordinator and getting a better coordinator and finding some good secondary receivers and building your O-line, then you got to do it. I think that Phil Mary was all I need to see. That Phil Mary on Black Friday. But at the end of the day, he has underperformed. You are what your record says you are. And I think his seat should be hot.
I can't. I mean, that was hard to debate that. I even though I still would stick with Vaughn, but you made some strong points.
All right, let's move on to. We got a couple. We got, you know, time that's creeping up, so we gonna push the pace here. Let's go with Bill Belichick. Cuzzo, how do we feel about Bill Belichick?
God. Oh, that's too tough, man. It's too tough. Bill Belichick is hot. And I can't. I'm not gonna go scorching hot. The record says scorching hot. How he's performed this year says scorching hot. How he performed since Tom Brady up says I get all of that. I'm not gonna go scorching hot. I'm just gonna put him as hot. The man have done too much. Have been through too much. I respect him too much. I still think he's a great coach. I know it's not 1999 anymore, and maybe he needs to come off of his old school ways. I get all of that, and maybe that's a reason why he should be scorching hot. But I can't put him as scorching hot. I think it's blasphemous to fit this man as a scorching hot. I'm just going to go hot. I would like to see him do some things better. I would like to see him hire offensive coordinator to run the offense in its entirety. I would like to see him fire himself as a GM. I would like to see him do things and modernize his coaching mindset. Yes, I would like to see him do these things. And I do believe he's capable of doing these things. And if he do it, then maybe they'll be better. I'm not going to put him a scorching hot. He's just too great. Future Hall of Famer, one of the greatest of all times.
I'm going to go scorching hot here real quickly. And, you know, I really challenge Bill Belichick right now to seek a higher power. You know, I'm not sure if he want to join the Nation of Islam. I'm not sure if he want to join the church. But when I look at this guy, Bill Belichick, I see a guy with no soul. A guy that has literally cut the throats of players that made him, you know, was quick to move off of Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time, right? I remember one play, I forgot who it was, but I think he played for the Raiders, and he played for Bill Belichick for like 5 to 10 years, and Bill Belichick looked at him like he had no soul, didn't even go up to him after the game and tell him, hey, congratulations, you know, or congratulations, you suck, you know, none of that. Just looked at him like he had no soul. I see a guy with no soul. I see a guy that is dealing with a lot in his life right now. I saw the video with this guy butt-ass naked going out in the middle of the street. Like, what's going on with this guy? I just don't think he's in tune. I think he needs to seek a higher power. Listen, Robert Kraft, you got to do what you got to do. That'd be my advice, right? I understand he did a lot for your franchise. He won you a couple championships. But at the end of the day, mediocreism, whatever, it may not be a word. I don't care. He needs to be fired because you have to do what's best for the Patriots, okay? You let Tom Brady go. After all he done for you, you should do the same but Bill Belichick when his time is due, and that time is now. I'm going scorching hot.
Yes, Bill Belichick's job is scorching hot. You got to do what's best for the team. He hasn't been doing what's best for the team for quite some time now since Brady has left. The job he's done on Mac Jones is disgusting. We can't go from 4,000 yards to being that bad, that fast. It's tumbling down. It's not good at all. What he did to Damian Harris, what he's doing to Ramondre Stevenson. The list goes on with Bill Belichick and all the talent that the Patriots once had or once we deemed had. It's just going downhill from there. It's only time will tell what he does to Christian Gonzalez when he comes back from injury. So you have to fire him immediately. Bring in that New England Patriot regime of winning, of being hard-nosed, of being a great place to play in Foxborough. Because right now, Belichick is making the image of New England sour. And, your banner's still going to hang up there. We respect for what you've done, but what you're doing for us lately is not it, and you got to go.
Got to go. Listen, it's a great take from both of y'all. I can't argue it.
All right, let's go. 2 more. We're going to do 2 more. Ron Rivera. And I guess I'll start. Okay, go ahead.
Scorching Hot. Get him out. Get him out. Get him out. Ron Rivera had to go. Yesterday, he got to go. Listen, there's already a head coach on that coaching staff. His name is Eric Bieniemy. I don't know if anyone heard. He's clearly that needs to be the head coaching job. That needs to be his head coaching job. If Ron Rivera goes, Eric Bieniemy has to be the head coaching job. There's only one other person that I would accept over Eric Bieniemy, and that's Harbaugh from Michigan. That's the only person. But outside of that, Eric Bieniemy is the head coach for that Washington team. Ron Rivera got to go. Yeah,
I agree. He got to get up out of here. The Washington football team is already rebuilding on the defensive side of the ball. They traded Chase Young. They traded Montez Sweat to the Bears. They fired Jack Del Rio. And I think Ron Rivera is going to be next. And a lot of that has to do with his underperforming record. Once again, you are what your record says you are. And ever since that, Super Bowl that he went with Cam Newton, he just hasn't been a guy in the modern day that has won. It's not 1999 anymore. And the only reason why he didn't get fired last year was because it would have been bad PR with everything going on with Dan Snyder and him being on the verge of selling the team. Now that Josh Harris is the new owner, it would be bad PR to keep him because he needs to show that he actually cares about winning. And I think he will. And I think Ron Rivera will be out the door. His seat is scorching hot.
Listen, it's scorching hot. It's blazing. And listen, no disrespect. He looks incompetent, right? And I never, no disrespect, when he took the Carolina to the Super Bowl, I always looked at that as Cam Newton being a juggernaut. You know what I mean? More than Ron Rivera's coaching. No disrespect to him. So when he came to Washington, I wasn't expecting nothing from him. All right. I didn't think he was a great coach to begin with. And like you said, Eric Bieniemy is probably the real head coach on that team, and hand over the wheel to him, and then I'm quite sure they'll probably be better. I'm almost certain they'll be better. But yeah, Ron Rivera is not that great of a head coach. I mean, I didn't really think he was a great defensive coordinator. So it is what it is. Gotta go.
All right, we're gonna go with one more here, and that one more. Who do y'all guys want to go with, right? We got Arthur Smith still here. We got Brian Dable. We got Matt Eberflus, and we got Todd Bowles. So we want to go ahead. We could, matter of fact, each of us could choose one more, and we all could do a different one. Go ahead.
Todd Bowles got to go. And listen, it's okay. I think this is the problem with the NFL. He's a good defensive coordinator. Stay in your lane. You're not a head coach, though, bro. His lack of attention to offense, of him not really knowing offense that well, how to design an offense, how to run an offense, how to put together an offensive scheme, or to walk into an offensive meeting and correct things from the offensive coordinator. Like if you got an offensive coordinator and you as a head coach, if you walk into that meeting and if you can't correct nothing that he's doing wrong as the head coach, then you incompetent. I don't care how much you know defensively, and I think he's a great defensive coordinator, but he's not a head coach, because a head coach got to know something about the offense where the offensive coordinator might be like, no, we're not going to do it like that. We're going to do it like this because I'm the head coach, although you're the offensive coordinator, and he don't have that cachet. So he got to go. He's a great defensive coordinator. He's just not a head coach. Got to go.
I'm going to pick mine, and then Zay, feel free to pick a coach of your choosing that we haven't covered so far. I'm going to go with Arithmetic Smith, a.k.a. Arthur Smith, okay? The guy that thinks he's good at math, but don't know what the hell he's doing, okay? Don't know where the X is at. He's still looking for X, okay? With all due respect, what's next? Not X. He should be an X-coach. I mean, oh, my God, the flow on that. Oh, wow, yeah. So speaking of that, I don't know what he's trying to do. He thinks he's the smartest guy in the room, you know, trying to reinvent the game with the running back system, taking all these talented players and not even using them, man. Like, it's beyond me. You know, Zach is a big Arthur Smith fan. I don't know in what world. You know, he's just not that dude. You know, at the end of the day, when push comes to shove, get the ball to your best players. When push comes to shove, get the ball to your best players and let them go win you the game. Clearly, they need a quarterback. Clearly, they still in the division. They in the lead right now. So that's why I might have to go warm here. Matter of fact, I'm going to have to go warm, right? Because right now, they in the division lead, but it's not great. It's the worst division in football, but he still needs to be held accountable if he doesn't. Even if he wins the division, I still think his seat should be warm. Not to the point where he get fired, but where he's on the clock next year. So, yeah, I'm going to go warm for Mr. Arithmetic Smith.
You know, I'm going with a name that's not even on the list. Your boy, Zach Taylor. Pack him up. Mr. 4-20 without Joe Burrows. Pack him up. Mr. Underutilizing T. Higgins. Pack him up. Mr. Jamar Chase or nothing. Pack him up. I'm done with Zach Taylor, bro. Zach Taylor, I'm done with it. If Joe Burrows is the main reason why this guy has a job, he shouldn't be a coach. And that's the truth. That makes zero sense. If it's Joe Burrow or nothing, why is this man still coaching? I'm tired of it. Yeah, he went to the Super Bowl a couple years ago. What has he did then? Nothing. He hasn't done nothing since. I'm tired of hearing it. I'm tired of talking about Zach Taylor. The man has to go. He got my boy hurt twice already in his career. 2 devastating injuries. I'm like, what? How many more you need to go? One in his damn leg, one in his throwing arm. What's next? A broken neck? Like, what else do we have to do with Joe Burrows? Makes zero sense. The GM is an issue. The offensive line is not good enough. It don't matter how, whatever reason, you're spending the wrong money on the wrong guys. And you're bringing in the wrong people to protect your franchise quarterback. You just paid $300 million to. Zach Taylor, you got to go. GM, you got to go start a whole new regime in Cincinnati because you got too many talented players to be having these guys hurt. Jamar Chase got a back injury. Hopefully he's not dire. We wouldn't know until it happens during the game. It was, oh, yeah, he had a punctured lung. Yeah, we didn't know about it. I want to hear that. You're the head coach. So figure it out. Yeah, that's my take.
All right. All I know is that at the end of the year, some of these coaches who we name or probably did not name yet is going to hear this line. Yeah!